Now let us work on a concrete example to practice how to derive the functional forms of the supply curve given, specific cost curves. So suppose that total cost has a fixed cost component plus a semi-fixed cost component plus 1/2 of Q squared. And suppose, for the sake of example, that SFC is equal to FC is equal to 9. Okay? Now question, what is the supply function? So what is exact functional form of Q star of P? Notice several things. First is, what is the marginal cost function? Well, is that just the derivative of the total cost, and that is going to be equal to Q. So we want to draw here what things look like, and we have that the marginal cost function is equal to Q. Next, let's look at what is the average total cost curve looking only as the SFC, as the semi-fixed cost. Well, that's going to be equal to 9 divided by Q plus the variable cost divided by Q, which is basically Q divided by 2. Okay? Now let's see where the average total cost curve for SFC takes its minimum. We know that this curve is going to look like this, so the first order conditions guarantee the minimum. So the first order conditions for minimum are given by 9 over Q squared equal to 1/2. So that implies that the minimum, Q minimum ATC SFC, is going to be equal, doing the algebra, to the square root of 18, and that is equal to 3 square root of 2. Okay? Now, if you substitute back in the formula, you're also going to get that the minimum ATC SC is equal to 3 square root of 2. So we get that the minimum, the average variable cost curve, the average total cost curve, when only the semi-fixed costs are taken into account, takes a minimum at 3 square root of 2 with a height rate of 3 square root of 2. So now from the work that we have done before, we know what the supply function is going to look like when the price below this threshold is going to be here, and otherwise it's going to be linear or up there. So in other words, Q star of P, just to write the expression formally, is going to be equal to 0 if P is less than 3 square root of 2, and otherwise is going to be given by P if P is greater or equal than 3 square root of 2. Why P? Because, well, this is the y equals x line, and at every P, the quantity that meets there has a value of P. Just to be precise, notice that when the price is exactly 3 square root of 2, the firm is indifferent between those 2 points. So to write the expression exactly precisely, we need to put a greater or less or equal than, because so then when the price is equal to 3/2, both values can be part of the supply function.